My friends, colleagues, and fellow citizens, throughout history, empires and democracies alike have lived or died not by their armies or their economies, but by the strength of their public consciousness. A society may claim to be free. It may wave the banners of democracy and pluralism, but if its people do not think critically, if they do not question what they are told or examine the structures behind their information, then that freedom is little more than theater. I have spent much of my life studying the machinery of thought, how language is shaped, how consent is manufactured, how empires tell themselves noble stories to mask violent realities. I have learned this. Power does not simply crush its enemies. It convinces you it is your friend, and it does so by controlling the flow of ideas. Let me be clear. A free and open society is not a gift. It is a struggle, and that struggle begins in the minds of individuals. When I said that freedom depends on critical thinking and resistance to manipulation, I meant it quite literally. We live in a time of unprecedented access to information, but we also live in an era of weaponized narratives, echo chambers, and algorithmic illusions. The technology that could have broadened our minds now often narrows them. We are not just informed, we are curated. Our feeds, our news, even our beliefs are increasingly shaped by opaque systems we do not control and seldom question. So what does this mean for a democratic society? It means the very foundation of democracy, informed participation, is in jeopardy. If you do not understand how your opinions are formed, you cannot call them your own. If you cannot discern fact from framing, you are vulnerable, not just to deception, but to domination. And make no mistake, manipulation is not an accident. It is policy. It is profit. It is strategy. Consider the corporate media landscape, owned by a handful of conglomerates, structured to sell audiences to advertisers, incentivized to provoke emotion over reason. Consider the rise of digital platforms that reward virality over veracity. Consider political rhetoric that reduces complex realities to binary slogans designed not to inform but to inflame. This is not freedom. It is manufactured consent, cleverly disguised as choice. So what do? We resist, not by violence, but by vigilance, not by rage, but by reason. We begin by asking, who benefits from what I believe? We question not just what we hear, but what we don't. We interrogate our assumptions, challenge our tribes, and remain open to being wrong. And most importantly, we educate. A truly free society requires citizens, not consumers. It requires education that teaches how to think, not what to think. We must bring philosophy, logic, and media literacy back into our classrooms, our conversations, and our institutions. To the young, I say, you are inheriting a world where information is abundant, but wisdom is rare. Learn to distinguish the two. To the press, I say, your job is not to entertain. It is to inform, to question, to hold power accountable, even when it is unpopular to do so. To the citizen, I say, never outsource your judgment, not to pundits, not to parties, not even to me. Think for yourself, but think deeply. Because that is what a free society demands. And to those in power, I offer a final warning. If you seek to manipulate the people, if you reduce truth to strategy and justice to optics, you may succeed in the short term. But in doing so, you erode the very conditions that give legitimacy to your power. A society that cannot think for itself cannot remain free. So let us choose not comfort, but clarity, not conformity, but critique. Let us build a culture where dissent is not feared, but cherished, where truth is not a weapon, but a light. Only then can we say with any honesty that we are truly free.